Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I haven't uploaded in a while on this channel, and today we're going to just have a calming video while I play against myself in chess. I'll just be talking to you guys, maybe you guys can just listen to this, and yeah, so let's get started off with the board I am playing on. So, actually, my dad's dad, I call him Pop, got this board when he was in Thailand. So, my dad's dad, Pop, I'll just call him Pop for the rest of this video, is not from Thailand, but he was stationed there in the Air Force, which a lot of people think is very cool. And while in the Air Force, my dad's dad, Pop, got stationed in Thailand. And while in Thailand, actually I'm going to move the camera 1 second so you can see both sides of the pieces. But you can't see me very well. So it's going out of this camera, right? So that should be the best angle. So while in Thailand, my dad's dad, Pop, bought this chessboard. Every single piece on this chessboard, like this little pawn, was handcrafted. And in fact, if you look close enough at the pieces, you'll notice that you can see where the dude messed up when making these sort of things. And now, this man didn't make many mistakes. This dude was a good craftsman, I can tell. But like, the history behind this board is insane. Everything from the legs to the little engravings on the thing, it reflects Thai and Chinese culture, is all hand carved. And actually, if you look close enough on some of the pieces, like on the kings, you can see the artist's signature, which I think is very cool. So, on the topic of handcrafting, did you know that in order to play Smells Like Teen Spirit authentically, you would actually need to change the pickups on a Jaguar with a Fender Mustang? And Kurt Cobain actually made a thing called the Jagstang that we all know for the iconic, crisp, Smells Like Teen Spirit sound. It's probably one of the most iconic sounds out there right now. For one reason, this TikTok trend, which involves Smells Like Teen Spirit. So, 1 second, I need to think. Ooh, yeah. So, Kurt Cobain actually experimented with his guitars. Almost every single one of his guitars is modded. Everything from his Jagstang down to that iconic electric acoustic we know to love today. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, while we're still on the topic of guitars, some guitars, and why they cost so much, are actually made by hand. Now, that's a shocking fact. Most guitars are made by hand. My Steve Vai signature, what's that made by? Do they make signatures by hand? I don't know. Oh, my brother just watching some videos, so if you hear that, you know why. But yeah, so things like Les Paul build their guitars by hand. And Peavey, you guys probably know them for my oldest video, playing awesome riff on Peavey Ninja Turtles guitar. Some of you who are old fans might know that video. And some of the pieces on this board are actually really big, like the queen and the king. So, yeah. So Epic Riff on PV Guitar was actually inspired by this one video I saw. It was this kid, right? And she used to play violin in public. Now, I really liked that, and I would say, and I thought it was really cool that she was able to play violin. So I picked up violin. I couldn't play it for very long, so I picked up double bass, which is the instrument I play currently, and my dog is snoring, so if you hear that too. With my brother's slime ASMR video. Pretty nice. So, yeah. There was this... What was I talking about? Oh, it was, and I really liked that, so I picked up violin, and then it ended up taking a break. I ended up quitting. We called it a break because it hurt less. Yeah. So, that wouldn't be a smart move. After my whole taking a break from violin thing, I didn't play any instruments until I picked up double bass in around fifth grade, I think. Yeah, fifth, because they didn't have orchestra in fourth, I don't think. So, in fifth grade, when I picked up double bass, people thought cello was the biggest instrument, which I always laughed at because Miss Minichi, my music teacher, showed us all kinds of really big instruments. And they all chose cello and said cello was the biggest. Well, guess what? Bass. Now, me and my friends play bass in the orchestra. I tried a cello, actually. One day we had a substitute, and and there's this cello laying out, so I just picked up the cello. And it's actually really nice. So, the only problem with cello is it's really, really small. Yeah, cellos are actually super small. So, apparently there's a size difference, and this different size of your instrument determines the pitch because of how much stuff can get through, and also the thickness of the strings. And I wonder what would happen if we put bass strings on a violin. A basolin. Yeah, I'm so dumb. I'm just thinking, don't knock the pieces. These pieces are actually shockingly easy to knock over. So, after that whole thing, I played my first concert, which I played "O Come Ye Faithful," which was changed to, what was it? It wasn't like Silent Night or anything. It was, First Christmas March. Yeah, that was pretty weird. They renamed it to First Christmas March instead of "O Come Ye Faithful." Probably one of the weirdest decisions that has ever been made at my school. I mean, they're at my school. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So now I'm just going to talk about, Oh, stories. Let's do stories. IRL stories, of course. So, one time, I met this kid named Dylan in preschool, right? And Dylan was I wouldn't say crazy. He goes to my school right now, and I've been trying to find him because I'm like, hey, Dylan. He was kind of cuckoo, and I hung out with him a lot. We used to do this thing where, flexed how strong we are. I mean, I'm not, too strong or anything, because I sit inside and play chess all day. But, yeah, so he, actually... So we were at this dude's birthday party. I'm pretty sure his name was, Drew or something. He had a twin. We were at the birthday party. It was monster truck themed. I remember that. And we got, this tire water bottle, which was pretty cool. And it was at this place. I can't name it because you guys could probably find where I live. We'll just call it Forested Area. with deep caves. Forested area with deep caves. We were there, and me and Dylan were playing. We were running around this tree until Dylan said, "Will, look what I found." And he found a dead bird. And I was like, "Dylan, we should put that down." And I slapped it out of his hand, like Godsmack. Not the band, just like Godsmack, the Dio ability. Out of his hand. And then I told my mom. And my mom was like, "Oh no, what if you get a virus?" And I'm like, "Mom, don't worry. I only slapped it out of his hand. I didn't hold it." And Mom was like, "Will, that's not how the world works." And I was like, "Yeah, it is, Mother." It's taking me so long to make these moves because I'm playing so good. So yeah, that was a thing. Shoot. Let's check. And he can only move forward one. Okay, so if I move, sorry, is my rook in check right now? No, it's not check. Okay, so yeah, there's this thing, and my mom and she ended up washing my hands, and I was never allowed to speak to Dylan again. Yay! So that brings me to one of my other friends. Her name was Lily. I'm not going to tell you her last name because that's creepy. And if Lily now is watching this video, no, it's not you. Different Lily. So this Lily used to watch a show. Can't remember what it was. There was like a mouse named Mouse. It's on Netflix. It's like, and they were like robots and they had different abilities. I keep on wanting to say Zaboomafoo, but I know that's not it. So yeah, there's a show, and we used to play, like, I want to be him at recess. And we had this huge dispute over whether one was a boy and one was a girl, and it was if Mouse was a girl or if Mouse was a boy. Now, my friend Dylan said Mouse was a girl, and I hadn't seen the show, and I was like, "Well, I don't know, Mouse is a girl." And Dylan was like, "That's what I'm saying." And then Lily was like, "No, Mouse is a boy." And then we're like, "No, Mouse is a girl." And we all said it at once, okay? That's believable. So we went, "No, it's a..." Yeah, and we all said it at once, and Lily was like, "Well, I'm going to prove it to you." And then Lily goes and gets the teacher and is like, "Is Mouse a boy or a girl?" And then the teacher's like, "Huh?" And she didn't know what we were talking about. And then Lily got really upset and started crying because she couldn't decide if Mouse was a boy or a girl. Just kind of weird, but I still respect her because she stood by her argument. Yeah. So that was pretty weird. And then there was this other time. Do you guys ever recollect school fights? We never had many, but when they did happen, we talked about them all the time, bro. It was like the topic for the next couple of days. And they were always the physical ones, never the mental ones. So we had this kid, and we're just going to call him Tony. Because I don't want to disclose his real name, or else he will lick my feet. Just kidding. So, this kid named Tony, right? And I have this friend, we're going to call him the Pebble, as he likes to be called. Really short kid. That's why we call him the Pebble. Some of you guys might know him as Lil Italy, if you watch the children's American Ninja Warrior. I'm friends with him, and this one day, we were playing soccer, right? Like World Cup Argentina style. Yeah, we don't get to do that anymore in middle school, which sucks because I loved playing soccer with my homies. I play soccer on my goal outside. It's currently dark out, but like, so it was like this whole thing to play soccer. And Rocco calls foul on Anthony, and Anthony's like, "Nuh-uh, I didn't foul. How could that be a foul?" And Rocco's like, "Uh-huh." So Anthony thinks the logical thing is to punch Rocco and give him a black eye. And I'm like, what the heck, Anthony? And we had this thing called a town hall meeting that day. And Anthony had to miss it. So town hall meetings were this sort of thing that our school did. Where like explained different topics with a variety of grades. An eye for an eye, buddy. With a variety of grades, which is very cool. And with this town hall meeting stuff, we used to do this thing. We would pass the thing around. And I got Miss Sulfur. We'll call her Miss Sulfur. And I got Miss Sulfur, and she was like the 5th grade teacher, so I was cool because I got a 5th grade teacher. All the other kids got like 3rd grade and 2nd grade teachers. And I was like, oh yeah, I got a 5th grade teacher. And I got to be with all the cool 5th graders. And all the kids were like, oh, Will got a 5th grade teacher. Well, a few of my friends were in there too. Shout out to you guys. Some of you guys aren't my friends anymore, but shout out to you still. So yeah, it was this really odd thing. Why did I just put my king in check? What? So, the positioning, there's a rook right... Wait, no, that's... Okay, he's not in check, I don't think. Yeah, no check. So, yeah, that was pretty weird. Yeah, but at one of the town hall meetings, this one girl wouldn't stop complaining about how her dog was stupid. And I'm like, wait, quit complaining about your dog. Because at the time, I didn't have this little munchkin over here. Let me go grab him. Munchie, wake up. This little munchkin right here. Okay, go back to bed. You can go back to bed. Oh, into the bed. Oh my God. Kisses. So yeah. And I was like, don't call your dog stupid. That's mean. And she's like, well, bro, that's not how the real world works. And like, no, it's not. But I'm still gonna like say, that's not very nice. Don't call your dog stupid. Someone probably paid for that dog. Because apparently her dog would run into walls. And I'm like, does your dog have like mad cow disease or something? So, yeah, that was pretty weird. And it's this whole thing where I would like, and then I ended up yelling at her because I didn't like her calling her dog stupid. Like, if I had a dog at the time, I mean, this little munchkin right here that I just showed you, he's my dog, well, the family's dog. My parents aren't home right now. He's, like, if this was my dog, I wouldn't be doing that. Even if my dog was the dumbest crap in the world. And the king's in check. I don't think there's any way I could get him out of check here. Shoot. Okay. Oh. Duh. Okay. So. I really don't want to do this, but I have to. Wait, can I do that? Can I? I can. Hi. Elbozo, I have your queen. And, yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna take your dog from you. And she asked me if I'm CDS, and I'm like, you mean CDs? Wait, I just noticed, if I say CDs, I can say CDs nuts. But yeah. And she's like, no. She's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, that's what CDs. That's what CDS is. And she's like, I just listed a pharmacy. And it's like child dogs. And she says, child dog services. And I'm like, what? Because I knew about CPS, the Child Protective Services, but I didn't know about CPS. And I didn't. She was like, yeah, it exists. And I'm like, I'm gonna call them. So I look up CDS, and I find a marijuana dispensary. And I'm like, no, we talked about drugs. Drugs are bad. So I'm like, stop trying to make me. And I say it. And she's like, And the teacher just burst out laughing. That was pretty hilarious. It's pretty hilarious, and the student, of course, apologized profusely to the teacher, and the teacher's like, hey, I get it. She was very chill. So yeah, that was pretty sick, pretty gnarly. Whoop. So that was pretty gnarly, pretty sick, and one of the worst decisions I've ever made. So now we're gonna get into a heavier part of my life. The time I learned about metal. So I listened to XXXTentacion a lot as a kid. Well, in 5th grade, I listened to him a lot because it changed me a lot. And I always liked the album like Skins and Look at Me. I was like, yeah. And then someone told me there's a whole genre that's about making those noises. And I'm like, really? What's its name? And they go, AC/DC. No, I'm not joking. So when they go AC/DC, I'm like, oh, like the thing my dad talks about. Because my dad collects guitars. And she's like, yeah, you've heard of him? And I'm like, yeah. So that introduced me to AC/DC. And then I was like, this isn't really screamy. So I look up screamy bands, and I come across My Chemical Romance, and I'm like, it says genre emo, so I didn't listen to them. Oh, shoot. Oh, whoops. We good over here? Yeah, we're good. So I have you standing on this little bird, and I bumped the table. This table is not very stable. Which makes it able. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna kickstart my rap career. You know, like Juice WRLD could never. No, I'm kidding. So I was like, heck yeah, and I came across MCR, and I'm like, no, it's emo, because at the time emo was a huge meme. Still is, I think. Like the dumb decisions emo kids decide to make. So yeah, that was a thing. And yeah, so I can move my king right here. Then I can move, nobody can check there. So I can move, I can only move back. And I did not think of that. I did not think of that at all. Now we're down to just relying on pawns and knights. Okay, so then we're gonna go bop, bam, take the corner of the board. Bop, bam. And yeah, that's pretty silly. And I forgot what I was talking about. So yeah, we've almost come into check here. I'll give an overview of the board. So yeah, there's the queen. And then we're gonna make a weird move, and we're just gonna move the queen here, okay? Trust me, trust. And we're not gonna move the king there, because then he would be in check. It has to be checkmate, okay? That's why I'm saving this rook here.